You're welcome back to the chat right here on Channel One TV with me, I call Kumsin. You can find me on all social media platforms at PK_Kumsin, spelled with a double N. You know, every time, on the show, we try to explore the creative space. I mean, the orange economy is the biggest economy right now, arguably, in the world. So, you have to be part of it. You have to be able to get in there. And what a better way to get in there when a platform has been created for you to explore this platform and also explore your creativity. So, you're a young creative out there, you're a photographer, you're an artist, you're looking to see how well you can have that platform to give you that leverage to explore your creative talent and everything. NewComma is the place for you. And I have right here in the studio Kwame Koda, who is a photographer, actually recently did something with NewComma. And then also we have Nigel Atamensa, who is a co-founder for NewComma. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How you guys doing?
All good. All good.
Doing fine?
Blessed. Yes.
What was the last time you took a photo?
Today.
Today?
I mean of myself.
Of yourself? Oh my God. What were you doing that you had to take a photo of yourself?
I was on ChannelOne.
You were on ChannelOne? And Nigel, what was the last time you actually took a photo?
3 days ago.
3 days ago?
Yeah, 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at my friend's wedding, so we have to keep that memory, so yeah.
Oh. Yeah. But, I mean, do you still take photos like you used to, or not? It's more like...
Actually, I do, I do. When Kitty comes to London, we end up doing a lot of work, so if you see some of Kitty's London pictures...
Oh, you are the brain behind it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we'll have to explore some of... So just go to Kitty's IG right now. You get to see some photos there. The brain behind it is Nigel Atamensa. But hey, I am super excited talking about this. But Nigel, first of all, let's talk about NewComma.
Yeah.
Because it's very interesting. The name is very interesting. And then also what you guys do is very interesting. So you can tell us about NewComma. How did it all start? I mean, when did it all start? What's the inspiration behind it? And what's actually the mission and why the focus on Africa?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes this is actually one of the hardest questions to answer because for us, our team, us as co-founders, the idea for NewComma started in school. So we're here in school in Ghana. We had, luckily, the privilege to access photography equipment, camera equipment, to really start to, explore our creativity. We did a course at the London School of Photography, almost, I think, 12 years ago now. Wow. And from that course, we learned a whole bunch of things that we wanted to teach our classmates. It meant that we really explored our creativity from a very young age, started to see how we could share that creativity with other people for their benefit as well as ours. And over the years, myself and Natalie, my co-founder, started working on different creative projects. We had one called Infraordinary, that was our first exhibition here in Ghana, exploring once again mental health, topics that are somewhat taboo, things that people find hard to discuss.
Yeah.
We weren't really afraid to go there. We felt that people needed to explore what those emotions felt like, what it meant to have those conversations in real life, and what it would look like manifesting those things in real life and having people come and see that. And then we did another project called the Cool Kids Project. This started in 2017, and it was an opportunity to, once again, showcase the young, talented creators we had here in Ghana. We had taken pictures of musicians, chefs, people in the fashion and art industry, and started to mock up popular magazine covers. And started putting them all on Twitter, Instagram.
So all of this, NewComma had not started yet?
NewComma had not started. This was just the first...
Two creative people who explored their creativity.
Exactly. And we did that. We featured, people like the Lamem Gang. We featured Bishops, who's a chef now, cooking for Idris Elba and all these big people way before they had those first opportunities. And the whole goal of that project was to say, there are talented people here in our community. We need to support them so they can get on the cover of Forbes or Complex or Vice. They're not going to get there if we don't give them the support. And we did that for a year. We did that the second year, different set of creatives, did a YouTube series this time. And in 2020, around lockdown time, everyone's stuck at home trying to figure out how do we continue this. we said this time we don't want to just focus on Ghana. We know that there are talented people elsewhere, you know, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe, all these places. How do we find them? How do we discover them? On other platforms, you know, you have to have thousands of followers before anyone can really recognize you for your work, or you have to have access to some kind of, you know, specific people in the industry.
Some gatekeepers.
Exactly, some gatekeepers to access those people opportunities. So we said, okay, cool. Why not just create a platform for ourselves? We hadn't even thought of the name NewComma. We just said, let's make a website. We found a web developer. We said, cool, this is the project idea. Make a website. Simple directory.
No, wait, don't tell me you created a website before you give it a name.
Oh yeah, we did. yeah, we did, because it was just at the idea stage.
Yeah.
So we said, let's create a website. We realized that many people have these directory platforms which are okay for what they were and what they needed to be, but they are not dynamic enough to support emerging talent. What good is it that your name and contact number is on a website if you can't maybe showcase your work there? Or people don't know the kind of things you've done previously. So you just, how do you stand out in a list? Then there's the other side where platforms exist that are purely job boards. So you as a creative, you might not be able to have a portfolio, you might not be able to have a profile, you might not really be able to showcase your personality. You just upload a CV. And once again, especially in the creative industry, we know that CVs
you have to see your work.
Exactly.
Your work is, I mean, you're as good as your last job. You always say so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So through those experiences, we started to create the platform which today is known as NewComma. And today, we are no longer just a website. We exist as a social recruitment platform, but global creative ecosystem where we seek to help young African and Black creatives all around the world, connecting them to each other, connecting them to resources and global opportunities.
Wow, that's very elaborate. And I like the fact that you're not only looking at just getting the contacts and then putting them all over the place, but then actually putting their works also out there for people to be able to see and be able to say, okay, I love this one, because what I see is what will draw me close. Right? As opposed to like, I need to hear the name, because I mean, we have Kwame Koda here, and I'm super excited to actually engage him, because before we got on air, I'm getting to know some of the works he's done, and I'm asking myself, how is it that a creative does such a great job? We get to see the artist who is, you know, at the forefront of everything, but the brain behind it is always at the back and nobody gets to see them. Kwame Koda, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Now, key question for you is this: how many years or how long have you been taking pictures?
This will be my 8th year.
8 years?
Yeah, 8. Yeah.
Looking at you, also very young.
Yeah, I am.
So, 8 years, what actually got you into it? Is it, you know, for Nigel's story, I know a little bit of it. He's very got a camera, and then, anyway, but we'll come to that. But how long have you been doing, and what got you into it?
Yeah, so I've always been an artist. So I used to draw, paint, and play basketball, dance, rap, sing, everything. But I decided to...
Jack of all trades.
And I decided to stick to one thing. And I think I made the decision around my last year in high school. And I thought about...
Was he here in Ghana?
Yeah.
Which school is that?
Motown.
Oh, you're in Accra?
Yeah, Accra.
Oh, nice. Accra which year?
It'll go off my age, but I finished I finished in 2016.
2016, okay. So Accra 2016.
Yeah.
One of you is here. All right.
So I made the decision around that time, and I felt like we're going into a digital space. So why not do something digital? And at the time, I could either do photography or I could take my drawing into digital art. I didn't have enough funds for buying a Wacom tablet or a tablet to draw on, but I had a phone, so I decided why not just do photography. So I started doing phone photography for about 2 years. Then I was born and renting cameras for 4 years. Then I finally got my own camera, after 6 years.
How's the transition been from phone to photography into like the Canon, Nikon, all those?
Yeah, it's been lovely because, you know, the phone and the camera is just a tool. The main person behind it is what matters, what's in your head, what do you want to bring out there. So, and then funny enough, how I started my journey has been very transparent and has been very reflective on my journey throughout. There was 2020 when there was a lockdown, I couldn't go out to photograph, so I started using my phone again. At the time, I was using a Samsung phone, and through that, I got a collaboration with Samsung, actually.
Oh.
I did a whole collaboration with them. I even did an exhibition with them, Samsung and Glitz. So everything has come together. It has added up from the beginning to where I am now, and it's been a beautiful journey so far. A lot of collaborations, a lot of international exposure. Yeah, it's been a blessing.
Wow. Now, can you tell us about some of the, the impact that NewComma has had for the past, let's say, okay, the ideation, because I want to add the ideation to when actually the platform started. So the platform actually launched or started in 2021, but the ideation has been there for like years, right? Now, can you tell us about the impact now from the ideation stage to when the platform was actually launched?
Okay, so I think when NewComma was just an idea, it allowed us to try and do the most minimum viable product version of what we could at that time, which was getting some of our friends in our photography and videography clubs and teaching them about aperture and shutter speed and ISO. And those small things, we started to see other people, you know, be able to go home and take pictures of their family, or they have a school event and they could help us, you know, doing the pictures. I mean, even in uni, I was in a house, there were 5 of us. We were all studying different things. I studied economics.
Okay.
I studied economics, was a banker for 6 years, but still did my photography and videography on the side. And my friends, one, you know, a Nigerian guy, TY, he was studying engineering at the time. We came to this house, studying all these things. We left. He now runs a studio in Nigeria. They rent out camera equipment and all sorts of things. So I think just sharing our creativity has started to make an impact from the ideation stage. And I think up until now, some of the most impactful things that I've seen through the platform has been, number one, we did Google's Black History Month event a few years ago, produced that in London. We did the branding for the event. We had Adekunle Gold come and perform. We had 12 or 13 artists from across the continent, the diaspora, showcasing their work. Some really, really interesting work, you know, some artists from here in Ghana, some in Nigeria, SA, Zimbabwe, a whole range of places. So I think every time we go somewhere and put work from people from our community, both here on the continent and the diaspora, is really impactful to see, because people connect with it in different ways. Some people's first reaction is they want to know more about the artist. They want to understand the piece and the motivation behind it. Other people's reaction is, I need this piece in my house. I need to buy this. How do I get in touch with the artist? And to keep it, So I think seeing that impact has been another thing. And then we're talking about Kenya as well. Kenya, we have so much love for Kenya as well. We had 2 events there last year in 2023. And the first was us being part of Nairobi Design Week. For us, it's never about our own work, it's about the artists and the designers and the creatives on our platform. So we showcased, I think it was, once again, 12 or 13 different artists from the NewComma platform. All they had to do was sign up, create a profile, add their work, and respond to our call out. And we selected those 12 or 13 people, and we printed out their work and showcased it as part of this massive Nairobi Design Week exhibition. And then we did a music workshop in Kenya once again, where we met some incredible people who then we connected with again. There's one guy I have to shout out, Philip Koth. He was amazing, being a connector for us in Kenya. Through him, we were able to produce another event in October last year, Common Ground, which we do every year. We've done Common Ground in London, we've done Common Ground in Kenya, we've done Common Ground or Comma Connect in Ghana as well. So of course, it's been here before. But yeah, seeing the way people interacted with NewComma, it being the first stage that some people were able to sing or perform or rap, it being the first exhibition that people are able to showcase their work. Just 2 weeks ago, someone had their first ever sale from art that they've been working on. This girl has been painting for 15 years. She hasn't sold anything because she's just been working on her craft. and she finally got that one opportunity, and she made a nice amount from the the work that
how
was
much are we
sold.
looking at?
It was enough. It was enough. I don't know if she'll be wanting us to share,
Yeah.
but it was enough. And I
Yeah.
think that's why we exist. We want people to know that your creativity can take you somewhere and you can make a livelihood out of that.
Perfect. Now let's come to the most recent exhibition that you had with Kwame Koda, Art and Mind 4.
Yes.
Right? I like the name Art and Mind. What is going on here? Because I know mind, we are clearly talking about mental health because he even mentioned it earlier. But what is the inspiration behind the name and how was the exhibition itself?
Okay, I think the whole idea behind Art and Mind is basically how your mind relates to art. And I realized that when I started, people just like art for its aesthetic purpose or how it looked like. But I felt like this is something bigger than that. It is something that you can connect to and something that can be beneficial to your mental health. So I created the Art and Mind event to help educate people about how to use art to the benefit of their mental health. And I started it 2019, and down the line, we are the 4th one. And this time around, I wanted to take the message beyond Accra, beyond the shores of Accra. And I thought about doing it in the UK. But what better collaboration will be an avenue to put the message out there than to collaborate with NewComma. So that was how come I got in touch with NewComma, and then we decided to take the next version of Art and Mind to the UK.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Nigel, you see, when you talk about creativity and everything, we are now talking about photos, videos, paintings and everything. Is this all that NewComma has to offer? So is it only so if I'm a painter, am I allowed to be there? Or if I'm a poet, I'm a singer, I'm a director, I mean, do I have a place on NewComma to explore?
100%, 100%. As long as what you do you feel is creative, you have a place on NewComma. Funny enough, a few months ago, I got in trouble with one of our users for not adding writers to some of the videos that I was making. So yeah, NewComma is a platform that is skill agnostic. Whether you are a writer or a web designer or a UI UX designer or whatever, you are welcome on NewComma. We have actually had 370 predefined roles that you can self-select from in terms of skill sets or role type or the kind of jobs that you work on. And generally, I think for us, we are looking for a broader variety of creatives to come on the platform because increasingly there's a broad range of opportunities coming onto the platform. So people recently, an agency here in Ghana was looking for a 3D visualizer. I've never met a 3D visualizer, but through them, exactly, we know that they exist, we know that there are opportunities for them. Others may look for a social media manager, others may look for a graphic designer, a web designer. So there's a whole range.
It's a whole, it's a holistic thing when it comes to like the creative space.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. And thank you very much for putting this out. Now, how do people get to sign on to this? Do I have to pay anything? Because, you know, right, a lot of people are like, hey, I mean, if it's free, I'll get it. But if I have to subscribe, then. But how do people get to sign on to this? I mean, is the process tedious? Is it easy? Is it friendly? All of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably biased. I would probably say that the process is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
You can sign up within less than 5 minutes. You can either sign up at the website, www.newcomma.com, new, N-E-W, comma, C-O-M-M-A.com, or download the app, which we released actually when we were in Kenya, on iOS and Android. It's available now. We have people signing up every day. We have a growing community of almost 14,000 people and 40,000 people globally across our other platforms. And it's totally free for creatives. We will be introducing some new membership tiers early next year as we build features for more experienced or professional creatives that need some more custom tools or custom design work in their portfolios. But there will forever be a free version of NewComma that talent can sign up to use.
Perfect. But we'll come back and talk about something special. We'll come back to that. But Kwame, can you let people know, because you know, it's good that we have you on ChannelOne TV on the chat, but we can also let you go without telling us some of the notable people you've worked with, so that people will not just see you as, oh, he's just a photographer, but you've actually worked with some really key notable people in the industry, and you've put out amazing work. I saw one of the works before we got on it. I was just like, oh, really? Okay. But yeah, can you just let us know?
Yeah, down the line, I've worked with so many people. I've worked with Sinaso, Famea, Stoneboy, Kiddy, almost everybody in the industry. I think at this point I have to only say the people I haven't worked with, because I've worked with so many people.
Okay, so who haven't you worked with?
I haven't worked with Sakode and Shatawale.
These are the only two people you've not worked with?
And I think R2Bs, and I've worked with R2Bs and some other thing else. I think those are the main key people I particularly not worked with. But I've worked with so many people in direct and indirect ways as well.
Right. So you're looking forward to working with Shatawale and Stoneboy?
Yeah, why not? That, and at this point too, I think I'm pushing more on the international market. So I'm also looking at collaborations internationally. And my works, I've worked with, I think last year I did Stoneboy's Fifth Dimension album cover.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, if you saw the album cover of Stoneboy with the hand literally covering half of it, what was the inspiration behind that?
So you see, he's covering one of his eye, and the other eye is, you can see it. And looking into, I wanted to place a lot of emphasis on the eye. Looking into the eye, sort of transfer into a different dimension, hence the name Fifth Dimension.
Oh my
so
God.
It's more of a spiritual connection with, I intentionally use the word spiritual. It's more of a spiritual connection with that artwork. And that was the message you wanted to put behind that. I've also directed a couple of music videos. I directed Leko, that was for Kiddy and Stoneboy. I directed Famia and Paturankin, Soba. I directed So Far Gets for Twitch. I directed I Lied for Kiddy, Visualizer, and then lyric video. I directed Bambalika for D Black and Kiddy. I directed for Balorankin from Nigeria.
I mean, if we say we're going to go through the list, I mean, we ain't going to live here. But Nigel, let's wrap it up, wrap the conversation up with this, talking about the effects or the impact of AI when we look at like the creative space. Because is it a threat or is it a good addition?
Yeah, you know, I think for different people, some may see AI as a threat, as we were saying, some may see it as a great opportunity. I think we see it from 3 different angles. Number one is the positive side of AI, where people without the core creative or visual arts skills can start to create imagery, start to create videos that help bring their ideas from, you know, from what's inside their head to reality. We have people who have been making and releasing and sharing short films produced entirely with AI on NewComma. Then there is the second angle of where does the inspiration behind the styles that these AI platforms are, you know, producing come from? Are they stealing from creatives? Is there a way that we can protect those styles while still benefiting from the tools and resources and kind of work that AI can produce? Then the third angle is the environmental aspect, which I think is under discussed because it literally costs a lot of money and energy to run these AI platforms. Exactly. So I think overall, if we do things in the right way, it can be a net positive. Unfortunately, if left uncontrolled, it can go completely the wrong way, which we are seeing with some of these deep fakes. We're seeing with some of the issues in the music industry where people's voices and likeness are being replicated. But once again, where there is these tools, there are opportunities. I'm seeing industries where, for instance, I think there are some actors and actresses that have signed deals with these platforms to replicate their likeness so that you can just license your likeness to a company and you appear in movies for the rest of your life, whether you're dead or alive. And your family can continue to eat from the talent that you had, or your likeness, or the work that you have done. So yeah, I think it's a multi-layered situation. I think hopefully in the instance that people need the uniqueness that we as humans provide, we can continue to offer that with or without AI. But yeah, I think is a topic that will probably need a separate discussion for.
Perfect. I mean, Kwame, anything you want to add to that before we go?
Me, I'm very excited for AI because I feel like we're going to be moving from an era where it's less about the art and it's more about the artist. And I think I was saying earlier, I think people are going to start appreciating artists for their imperfections, and people are going to pay us for being imperfect as opposed to using AI that you can basically just pull out anything you want in a very nice way. So I think we're going to move from an era where it's less about the art and more about the artist's name being attached to the artwork. So I'm excited for AI. And I'm not really a part of it. I'm not opposed to it. I can use it, but I believe it's also good that we will see the contrast in between what AI work is and what work from an actual human being is. Yeah.
Wow. And that's where we get to wrap up today's conversation right here on the chat. I'm super excited. Thank you very much, Nigel. Thank you very much, Kwame Koda. I mean, anything you want to add before we go? Anything final words you want to say before we leave?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to, of course, thank you for having us here today. I want to thank everyone on the platform for trusting in NewComma, using NewComma as the home for their creative art and journey. Definitely want to encourage other agencies, companies looking for talent, the likes of Dentsu and Ogilvy and Publicis and all those others that are looking for talent, to come onto the platform and share their vacancies, because the talent is out there. They're just waiting for you to come. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kwame. Thank you very much, Nigel. And this is what we call it today right here on the chat. If you're a young creative out there, please make sure you go on to NewComma, www.newcomma, NEWCOMMA.com. Sign on, put your creative work out there. You might never know where your creative work will take you next.